reach. So that we will be definitely reaching by 2030 plus. The country will be in that state in the aircraft's version. This is what is Jorwar, which General Brar has mentioned, and is a tank which is developed here by our friends here. I want them to actually get up. Mr. Balamurugan, Director, Mr. Balaguru. They are the designers. They are the designers of it. What General Brar and me, we have managed is at Delhi. We managed. General Brar came up with the right specifications, what are required, and moved it to be in such a way that Army accepts it, and it played an important role. But design is from these two gentlemen who are sitting here in Avadi and who made it. And General Brar, when these people designed it, everything, and came up in Delhi, so General Brar came to my office and we were giving a presentation to him. So when we gave the presentation, I think some X-weight was there when they came up. He said, I will accept if it is 25 tons. This is my specification. And said that it should be amphibious, meaning it should be on the surface of earth and also in the water. These two specifications, he said. So I was seeing these people are what to do, kaisa hai and all that. So 15 days later, they talked, and they also talked to General Brar and said that, yes, we will do it. They did. And the day it is sanctioned, nowhere in the world has happened. Will it happen or not? I am not very sure. Less than 2 years, the tank is out. Tank has gone through the trials of developmental trials. Army trials will be going through just in 2 years, a lightweight tank. I am sure General Brar, you will agree. I don't think there is a class of a tank of this class which is there in the world today. More like of a class of a tank of this class. So that is what it is, has come. So that is the effort between armed forces, DRDO and private industry and industry all together have done, and which I congratulate our two gentlemen and thank and congratulate General Brar and his team for making it to happen. All that is a great thing. And so this is again has come out of Chennai. You can say that world's one of the best tanks has come out in the world. What we thought we may have to buy from outside, this tank is far better than that things. Now coming to industry, I'll just say, I was just talking about it, the phases. 1990, very few numbers, and you give a drawing, that is what is called build to print, and do it, and then talking about build to design, then build to specification, now design and development. This is the stage which has come. And numbers, I'll try to mention, which I said about 100 or 150 numbers must have been there in the country today. Tier 1 and Tier 2, meaning the system level people and subsystem level people. There are about 2,000 industries in the country working for the defense today. And if you take Tier 3, who supply the components and sub-assemblies and things like that, there are close to about 20,000 industries in the country who are doing for the country and also have become supply chains to many industries in the world. They have become supply chains of supplying. So that's the stage which has come up. And in Tamil Nadu also, there are major industries which are working with us, whether it's in Chennai, whether it's in Coimbatore or in Trichy area. Lots of industries are working on very critical technologies with us, and a lot of important role in state of Tamil Nadu, including the academic institutes and things like that. A lot of enablers which have helped it, whether it is many schemes which are brought in, whether Make One, Make Two and things like that, or the IDEX scheme which is from MOD to promote innovations, which gives about 10 crore rupees for each innovation, or the technology development funding, which actually if you are developing a technology or a system in DRDO which can fund up to about 50 crore rupees. From that, lots of things, and even allocating about 75% of the capital budget to the indigenous systems here, and making the indigenous system as the topmost priority to buy, called IDDM, indigenously designed developer systems and all that. And from there, this a scheme called DCPP, which has come up, development come production partner, industry joins right at the stage of project sanctioning. As soon as the sanction is over and things like that and all that, and then there are more than 100 industries which have come up with various systems and developed and all that. This I mentioned about the technology development funding. And there are many other empowerment measures which have come up, which have supported industry, which made the industry big way. As I said, the finance people were saying, defense industry is the one which we can see continuously flourishing in the stock market. That is the stage it has come today. Lots of orders. Actually, I went to a couple of industries the other day. You see every month there is an inquiry from outside for the systems what are being developed here. And even the gun, as what I've seen is multiple orders have come from outside and seeing and all that. Similarly, academia, a lot of changes have come. In 1985, probably we had Jadavpur University, IIT Chennai, IISc, maybe IIT Kanpur. The only people, some couple of professors by name were able to talk to us, come and review with us. That's the level. And today, we have centers of excellence itself in 15 academic institutes across the country. There are about 400 academic institutes are working on that. There are 1,200 crores worth of projects which are running with academic institutes. There are more than about 3,000 researchers who are working on this. Is the stage where it has come. And here I like to mention also the startup ecosystem which has come up in the country is enormous. I'm talking about it as overall, which I mentioned about the defense also. Just in the year 2016, in this country we had about 458 startups. In 2016. 2024 now today, 8 years later, as per the records of DPIIT, the Department of Government of India, we have now 150,000 startups which are all by youngsters. And we have in defense and aerospace more than about 10,000 startups which are there. In fact, I was mentioning about the drones. The drone market is completely captured only by youngsters, 95%. You see, my friend is smiling here. He's one of the first persons who worked on drones. Professor Senthil, when Dr. Kalam passed away, we all went to Rameshwaram, and when Prime Minister was coming, that time just the threat was coming, various things and all that, how to monitor suddenly here aerial surveillance. He gave tethered drones, and the police of Tamil Nadu has used it to do the surveillance all around Rameshwaram is one of the things which has come out from Anna University. So you see youngsters like this who have come up and then who have produced large number, and now he has got Anna University industry and all that and producing and all that. And so there are more than 350 industries in the country which are startups primarily working on drones. So that's the level. Now coming to exports, this is one of the important slide I wanted to put it to you. We have been a largest importer of defense equipment. If not largest, 1, 2, 3. We have been always consistently maintaining in 1, 2, 3. And that is the stage. From there we also thought about exports. We started exporting. And large number of inquiries are coming. It is actually, we need lot more marketing skills in the globe and marketing strategies in the globe. I think the numbers will go up tremendously. Last year, 2023-24 financial year, having been the largest importer of defense equipment, it has gone to 21,000 crores worth of exports from this country. 21,000 crores. And you must have seen the Honorable Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh Ji's statement that in next 3 years we should go to 50,000 crores. And Prime Minister said that we should be a leading exporter. And I'm sure that in the years to come we should be able to go. That is where the figures I have given. This is my personal work where I did a research on what are all the requirements of the world and what India has a capability to do. And when you look at that as a systems and subsystems, this is the type of numbers. 1117 billions as the systems and almost about 2,300 billions as subsystems is the opportunities what we have got the country in the world. That means I can do that system. Even if I take just about 10% of it, it is going to be 300. If I take 1%, I am going to have 30 billion exports is what we are going to have. That is the type of opportunities which are got, which actually we should be able to capture and find right marketing strategies and try to export is the opportunities. Now coming to emerging technologies which are coming up, hypersonic vehicles is one thing which is going to play a major role in the warfare going to come. That is hypersonic cruise missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, hypersonic ballistic glide vehicles are the ones which are going to play a major role. Most of the countries have been working last 15 years, 20 years on this technology, including from USA. The type of number of tests which USA must have done from that island on this have been enormous, maybe 100, 200 tests they have done. Second thing is directed energy weapons is one of the important things. Future warfare will be this. High power lasers, very high power lasers. We're talking about 300 kilowatts, 500 kilowatts and, megawatts of powers of lasers where you sit here and try to shoot down a satellite with a laser or aircraft far away is one of the technologies. Similarly, very high power electromagnetic pulses and radiations. Sitting here again, talk about thousands of megawatts of pulses of electromagnetic. You are able to neutralize the electronics of a satellite and all that is one thing. You don't need a missile to go and kill a satellite, but send a pulse here or a couple of pulses and you should be able to kill is one of the things. Autonomous vehicles and robotics is playing an important role today. Autonomous tanks, autonomous vehicles, autonomous submarines, autonomous ships, autonomous underwater vehicles, and autonomous combat aircrafts, UCAVs. These are the things which are going to come, which are going to play a major role in the things. And then all this requires materials is one of the important things where advanced materials have to come up and work on that in a big way in the country. Then space has become the fourth dimension of warfare. Space has become the fourth dimension of warfare. That is important thing where a lot of people today, not about today, even a couple of years onwards, when the war is going to be there, the first thing what people do today is launch satellites, not any other things. Launch satellites, observe everything, see everything, who is who, which radar is where, which tank is where, which troops have movement, what not and all that. You observe and do it. That is how these anti-satellite technologies also have come up, that he is going to observe and I want to kill that satellite and sort of a thing. So that is another different game. And wearable technologies. This one important technology where today talk about anything, what I wear, AR, VR technologies onwards, what I wear here, it has got all sensors, it has got the communication equipment, it has got the antennas here on my clothing and I'm able to communicate. I have got sensors which monitors my health, which actually also senses and also it can also provide medicine to the person, sort of a thing onwards. Many varieties of things which have come up is another thing. Terahertz, I don't want to get into, it's a new technology going beyond 100 gigahertz, too much technical term, which actually, one simple utility of it I'll tell you. In 5 years from now, more like the X-ray scanning systems and all that in the aircraft for the personnel will vanish. These things will be installed. As you are walking in, 10 meters, 20 meters away, you will be scanned. Standoff scanning and you will be seen you are having anything and things like that and all that. That sort of a capability comes with the terahertz technologies. Underwater situation importance. This is a very important technology which India is working a lot in this. You need to monitor underwater, any submarine, any far, at what distances, what are there and all that. You all know the importance of the submarines, including the war what we had in the Pakistan, with the Pakistan and all that. Asymmetric warfare has come up in a big way. If I ask something, what is the major warfare between Russia and Ukraine? It all started for 6 months to 8 months is only information warfare, nothing else. Propaganda creating and all that is information warfare. The next is the cyber security related, cyber warfare. As I said, space has become the fourth dimension of warfare, cyber has become the fifth dimension of warfare. That's another important thing. Electronic warfare technology, quantum. is playing a major role. India has launched a quantum mission of 6,000 crores to develop the quantum technologies. India again with a startup with IIT Delhi is the first country to have established a quantum communication over dark fiber for 100 kilometers between Vindhyachal and Prayagraj. India is the first country who has done this quantum communication. Again, all by startups. There are at least 8 startups here in this country who are working on quantum computing, quantum technologies and all that. And biowarfare is a major thing where a lot of research going on in the biotechnology, biosensors, gene technologies and gene therapies and whatnot and all that related to it. And many technologies, that is a subject by itself where a lot of things have to get in. In fact, DRDO played a major role during COVID only because of this experience in the biotechnology related years, and you could come out with many things right from PPEs, masks and whatnot and all that. It could come out and put the roles. So look at future defense systems. Many things. Talk about stealth tanks, the tanks which are invisible tanks. Talk about guided bullet, guided shells, pretty accurate shells. Today you fire with you look at how you are looking at, what angle you put it, and what is the aerodynamics, what is the wind speed based on that bullet goes or shell goes. No. Then there are many other MEMS and NEMS technologies which you use it to find out everything called smart dust. Smart dust is one of the areas which you talk about it. Then talking about many other areas, magnetic propulsion. Satellites can be launched with the magnetic propulsion. This is another important thing. Then electromagnetic shielding, complete shielding with plasma. Where a missile is coming, there is a plasma around it, and nobody can see that there is a missile coming. This is another important technologies. I'm just talking about technologies, and coming to here, stealth aircrafts, stealth UAVs, which are invisible, which are very long endurance. The endurance of the UAVs talked about today is about 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, not hours, months. And people are working on it, and possibilities do exist. Lots of technologies are there. As I said, long-range laser weapons, long-range electromagnetic weapons, which you can use against anything, aircraft, UAVs, satellites, missiles, whatnot and all that, which you can use it in a big way, are the technologies which are coming up in the defense technologies. And then I talked about hypersonic missiles. People also talk about hypersonic aircrafts, even in transport. So probably Delhi you will reach in 20 minutes from here, Chennai to Delhi, 30 minutes maximum, sort of a thing, all things. Then talking about soldier as a system. Soldier has everything on his body, right from communication, seeing, visual, whatnot, far off distance, cameras are there, that camera vision is available to you, and your whole body is a sensor. You have a wristwatch, wraparound watch, which you can see everything here and things like that and all that. Your, as I said, the clothing is smart clothing, you have everything on that, is a soldier. The next is a robot soldier. Shankar movie nahi hai, but Shankar movie only, no? So, sort of a thing what people are working worldwide to have this. Couple of technical issues are there which if it is resolved, probably robotic soldier also will be thing. Then cognitive technologies. This is an important technology which again people are working, and my friend, there is a young boy sitting here, Manish. He is director of a young scientist laboratory here located in Chennai. The Honorable Prime Minister has told DRDO establish 5 laboratories where all the scientists in that lab should be below 35 years. And they should have the same powers as 55, 58 years old man who has got. So 5 such laboratories we have established. This is one of the laboratory, and he works on this technology, cognitive technologies, cognitive radars. Meaning, cognitive radar means he will be able to tell with that radar what is the aircraft coming. It is Su-30 or it is Jaguar or Rafale or what type of aircraft and things like that and all that. So that is the type of a thing. So then of course goes into the cognitive mind, how it, you are able to control the mind and all, also cognitiveness and all that. So if I go into the cognitive technologies further, I should be able to control. If I am able to control everyone, if I am able to do everything, and what India wants will be achieved. Peace. You can achieve peace by this, doing that and make it. So that is why it is very important to be very powerful. India should be powerful. If India is powerful, world gets peace. When Agni missile was launched, I remember 1989, people asked Dr. Kalam, you talk about peace and things like that, and you have launched such a nuclear missile and devastating missile, why are you doing it? He said it is for world's peace. Why? He said it's a deterrence. If I have the capability, if I have the power with me, and others will be careful. Nobody will touch you, nobody thinks of a warfare. He will not talk about a war. So you should be very strong. That is why we should be very strong in science and technology. And that is why in DRDO's emblem, it is written, Balasya Moolam Vijnanam. So if you are strong scientifically, you will be stronger otherwise also, and country will be prosperous. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. That was, I think, a very, very insightful and knowledgeable address. Can we have a round of applause, please? And I think because all the things which he has covered are normally not discussed in civil. So for, I think, other than even in army, one would be aware, but even some of the young officers may not have known all the things. So I think firstly it is knowing so many things about defense is first, and then doing so much of work, that is another. So I think all of you will be very, very confident that things are on the right lines. And I keep saying, you see, everything is with us. I have been developing an ecosystem here. I've been interacting with IITs. I've been interacting with industry. I've been interacting with everybody. Everything is here, and if you have the right intelligence, you can easily do it. Because again, I go to light tank. The specs, any light tank is 36 tons and above. China also. But because of my experience, I said it will be like this, 25 tons, because then it can come in a strategic lift. It can have a nominal ground pressure, which it can go and run. It can have a power to weight ratio, which will be higher than a light tank of China. So that's why the uniqueness of this tank, you will not find the specs anywhere. So this is one tank, the specs are not there, so it is not a copy paste. So that's why I'm saying anything which you do original will be a success. So I will not speak more, but sir, there are some questions. I think you have addressed most of them, but okay, I can start with the general question. This is from Manikandan Nungambakam, online. Okay. How can Indian startups and private enterprises contribute more effectively to defense technology innovation? How can we make this work successfully?
Probably the question would have been asked a little before my presentation maybe. I have mentioned to you, majority of the things are for the private sector. See, if you look at about 5-7 years back, private sector was not manufacturing the critical systems in the country. They were not manufacturing missiles, they were not manufacturing bombs, they were not manufacturing tanks, they were not manufacturing guns and all that. All this is being done by private sector today. At least 10 missiles are being made by the private sector today. The tank is by private sector, what I've talked about, lightweight tank. The gun is by the private sector today. So you talk about any of these things, private sector. And majority of the things which have been brought, make one, make two concepts are for the private sector sake. Coming to the technologies to be developed, the question has been mentioned as technologies. That is why these schemes which have come as IDEX, which is promoting innovations, which can fund up to 10 crores. They keep on having regularly challenges and things like that. Majority of the startups are participating in those things, and that's how they're able to get orders and all that now. The technology development funding, is for technologies development by MSMEs, primarily as MSMEs. That funds up to 50 crore rupees if you have a good design, a good concept, which you are able to convince that this is a realizable product. Up to 50 crore rupees can be funded. More like about 100 industries have been funded already. It's not that we are starting or anything. So likewise, there are many schemes. As I said, 70% of the capital budget is earmarked for the indigenous systems only. IDDM, indigenously designed, developed, manufactured thing has been given the top priority. That is how the corridors of UP corridor and Chennai corridor have been created, industries to come up. So it was more like an untouchable for the private sector, thinking that, defense, whether we can enter or not, there are only some people can do it and all that. Today it has come up to about 20,000 industries, with about 2,000 industries are Tier 1 and Tier 2 industries. As I said, finance people say that if it is a defense industry, the stock values are also going up high. That stage this country has come, but then the industry has to come up in such a way that these technologies either absorbing or developing on their own and should export. They can't rely only on the Indian Armed Forces order. See, what happened to General Bragg? He can only order 400 tanks, 300 tanks, 500 tanks. After that he cannot order. So what do? So you have to export. So that you have to work yourself. Industry as collectively has to work together and see that it happens. So this is the right time. It has been right time last 4-5 years for the private industry to utilize all these opportunities and get into it and jump into it.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is again slightly on what is your vision for India's defense capabilities by 2040 with the adoption of emerging technologies? Will it change our total outlook of armed forces as a modern and a highly sophisticated force? Daniel, Sri City.
Many of the things are there. See, the answers are that we have been, as I said, somewhere 90% or more than 90% were imported systems. Today more than 60% in the armed forces are indigenous systems. They are changing. And when you buy, you will not get a state-of-the-art weapon at all from outside. When you have indigenous system, you can have the state-of-the-art system. So India is coming up with the technologies. The scientific, technological ecosphere of the country is changing. So we are leading. As you have seen, many of the systems have been first-of-its-kind systems. You are in the first 3 countries, 4 countries, 5 countries and all that, which you could develop it. So the systems, what I mentioned, systems which are being developed, makes the country definitely leader. So by 2047, not just, as the Honorable Prime Minister said, India becoming Viksit Bharat, you will be a leader. So I am 100% sure by 2047, Indian Army or Indian Armed Forces will have a decisive edge in technological terms with all these weapons and all that coming. That's what I think.
I will just add a part answer. Armed forces are not totally relying on technology to win. If that was the case, then Ukraine would have beaten Russia long back. So, it is the man on ground which finally matters. So in that sense, the question is how good we are. We are one of the best. And I was a sector commander. I will take that lecture. It is the Chinese people who ran away from a post in South Sudan. It is our people who took it. So as you see, the technology and all these things help you. But ultimately, if you have to protect land, you need a man. You may have AI, robots and all, but, ultimately when it gets finally taken, we'll see. So I'll come to some specific questions because I think this come from here only. The advantage of terahertz includes scanning of a person at least 20 meters ahead of the location. Will overexposure to such scans cause the individuals to be prone to health hazards, including terminal illness? How does the right balance is ensured between progress and wellness? Matthew, member MMA. He's saying absorption of terahertz includes scanning of a person at least 20 meters ahead of the location. So the question is from here only.
See, basically that is a terahertz technology which is beyond 100 gigahertz. 100, 200, 300, 400 gigahertz is called terahertz technology. It gives you standoff scanning capability and many other capabilities also. In fact, some of the file age penetration and things like that and all that you should be able to get and all that. So people are working on that to have a stand-up scanning now, including in India. People are working on it. So this, everybody has to go through the scanning and things like that, and all will be there. So there will be scanners which tell somebody is entering into the airport itself he is having something or not, and you will be able to immediately identify. That is one of the utilities of terahertz technologies. A lot more utilities are there which you will find in civilian life itself, a lot of utilities, and security forces, lot of utilities, and of course armed forces utilities.
Okay, this is again, I think, come from here. Would you explain the technology issues on LCA engine and a mode of tackling? Is there a formal organizational structure on strategic planning on defense R&D? That's Mr. Arunachalam, retired scientist, ISRO. No, the question is by Mr. Arunachalam.
See, I will answer you this. One is aircraft engine is one of the technologies. I can narrate some of the technologies which India has not developed and which we are dependent from outside. So, one of the technologies is aero engines. I can discuss with you separately why we could not get up and do. Why? Because what happens is, you develop an engine and develop an aircraft. It is aircraft and engine development cannot go together. So in this country what happened is the engine and aircraft development went ahead. As I said, as you are developing the aircraft is getting transformed or changed every day and the specifications have been changing. So the aircraft engine specifications have also changed continuously, which cannot be done overnight. So the engine program went behind. And whereas the program went ahead with the imported engine. Same thing has happened even today. But there have been lots of efforts which are going on parallelly to try to develop an engine, which I feel that at least about 60% of the technologies have been matured in the country today. Some more need to be done. And country is trying to work with an engine house to develop indigenously an engine here in the country. Second, the engine, whatever we are importing today also, the government has put a restriction that engine should be manufactured here in the country. So those people are also going to manufacture here. So my feeling is, the way things are happening now, the cruise missile engine has been already developed. For the LCA, whatever the engine they thought, they have made it as a 47 kilonewtons dry engine today. So that means basic technologies have come up. Now, what is the next aircraft and what is the engine you require? So can you develop in the timelines what it is required? So this is what it is working out. So as such engines, whether it is for a tank, whether it is for a UAV, whether it is for a cruise missile, whether it is for a UAV or for an aircraft have been a problem. But many of those things, tank engine has been developed now in the country and cruise missile engine has been developed. Aircraft, some engine with some capacity has been developed. So probably in another about 10 years, the country should be able to develop the engine. This is what I feel. Okay, thank you.
Maybe it will be a last question. Sorry. Acha, okay. You can ask the question, sir.
See, there are lots of strategic planning mechanisms are there in the country. First thing is, the armed forces come with a strategic planning. These are the systems what probably we need in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's called LTI PPP, long-term perspective planning. So, towards that, aligning to that, the research and development in the country also gets aligned, called long-term technology perspective with respect to that. This is one top-level plan. At the same time, looking at various technologies which are emerging in the world, you also working out, there is again which planning which goes, and more like almost about 400 technologies have been identified which are supposed to be developed in the country. These 15 centers of excellence, what I said in the academic institutes, they should be working on this. They are all working on it. One such is Mr. Dr. Nandagopan is here. He is heading the center here in IIT Chennai, working on some of those technologies. So they work on those technologies. Another thing is systems, armed forces, work with various inputs from everywhere, and then the research and development wing and others in the country, they work towards that technology. So there are always strategic perspectives. No country will be there without a strategic perspective future plan in the world. More like.
Okay, I think we'll ask the last question. Dr. Joe from IIT Chennai is asked, how does the India's adoption of emerging defense technologies compare to other leading nations like US, China or Israel?
A good question. Who is the gentleman who has asked that question?
Here or?
Online. His online question. See, these are all the mechanisms. As I said, if we have to become a number one nation or a number 1, 2, 3 nation in all the technologies, the S&T ecosphere and the industry ecosystem in the country have to also come up. If you talk about USA, the type of academic institutes what there, the type of research, the type of fundamental research what they do, the type of funding they get, the number of institutes what you have, what happens working on the technologies is one. Similarly, industry. They have become giants are there who can sell all over the world, who can invest billions of dollars into the research is another important aspect. And then the affordability of the country to spend that much research funding. The United States of America, the defense R&D budget is more like about 7 lakh crore rupees. And this is the thing. So if we have to come up to that level, India with its own available resources, in its own humble way, trying to do the best to come up. As I said, that is why you have come up in one of the first few countries in the world, first 4, 5, 6, 7. Utilizing the capabilities available, the academic institutes have geared up, and so many centers have come, so much of research is happening. Industries have come up, they have become part of the supply chains of the world today, and R&D organizations are also focusing on this. Probably it will take about close to about, I feel, about 10 years, wherein you are able to fill in the gaps and focusing only on the advanced systems, either, when I say that, either first of its kind systems, or in the similar timelines, you are also able to come out with the same system. Not somebody comes out with a system, you make that system after 10 years. You are also within about a year or two, you are also able to come out. Sort of a thing, this country will be able to come up with all these synergetically working. Who are all to work synergetically? Academic institutes, R&D organizations like DRDO, industry, startups, armed forces, and the government officials, whoever or who matter, all synergetically work and have, as he asked, a strategic planning and who needs to do what, how to integrate, and with a very clear vision that we should become a leader. And we should be able to do definitely. The country has got so much capabilities and we can do wonders. We have done wonders in many areas and we will be able to do.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. We come to a close. I will only give one food for thought because I think a lot of people there is something called, I mentioned, multi-domain warfare. So I am trying to explain this and because, multi-domain warfare is, I will give you, because I try and simplify things. Your mobile phone without internet is just a phone. It is the internet which gives you a power to the smartphone that you can have your banking, your ticketing, you can do everything because you have something called internet and there are certain protocols and then there are applications. Now convert this to multi-domain. Whatever system we build, all these weapon systems, they have to be on a net. So that is in short multi-domain, and in this you need a IT backbone, you need AI ML, you need cloud computing, and you need all the technologies which are there with us and which all private sector and people in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad are doing. So how to get that system together? I am trying to put a vision because, you don't need more and more guns and tanks. You see, 100 guns firing separately don't make a difference, but if everything is on the net, maybe 20 will do. I hope you understand that logic. So the multi-domain warfare, which is totally into the private field, but you need somebody to guide and give them this thing. That is what is required. That is what I was saying. I have a full-fledged lecture which I am going to take tomorrow. But this is something which all of you can do. So if all the sensors are there, because aircraft which goes, it takes 1 terabyte of data in a one flight. Now in that 1 terabyte of data, how much is useful information your AIML has to pick up? So there are, I think, so much of data which is physically, humanly possible not to see through. You need AI. So you need this organization and structure. You see, individually, so we have to put this system together. That is what is the future. Somebody was asking this is the thing which we need to do. US is well ahead, China is falling, and we need to also go in for that. But our situation is different because we have land borders and we have to fight on the borders. Those people are fighting expeditionary in certain other areas where NATO and everybody comes together, so they are plug and play. So I can keep on talking, I can give you a full-fledged idea because all my talks are for the private and the startups. Okay, thank you very much. I think we had a good lecture today.